step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood so I am relentless.
We are live, baby. This is a Keep Hammering Collective with Jeff Browning, which the OGs know him as Bronco, right?
Yeah.
Is it Bronco? But it was Bronco Billy?
It was, the nickname was Bronco Billy, but all the OGs called me Bronco.
Bronco. And here, I'm just going to say it right out of the gate. You've won 32 100-mile ultras, right?
Yes.
That is nuts, dude. Not just finished. Finishing 100 is like, that's legit, but winning 32.
Yep. 32 for 55 in hundreds.
That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good ratio. So, I mean, for those that don't know, Jeff is like a legend. I've run ultras since 2005, you before that, but I've always known who you were, you were always this legendary figure, either here and then you moved to Arizona, but just competing in ultras, you were the man. And it's a huge honor to have you here.
Well, I'm honored to be here, dude. I'm a big fan of yours too. Country boy. I grew up a country boy, yeah. So watching you as a bow hunter, it's been awesome. We have to
represent the meat-eating redneck ultra runners.
Yes, we do. Giddy up.
Giddy up. That's it. So yeah, you can keep your salads. We'll focus on the hamburgers and steaks, baby.
Yeah, it's all about the protein.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I love it.
And the ketone.
Yeah, exactly. I just chucked mine off camera.
That's all right. It's I saw Michael Brandt put up a little reel today about my son's getting a lot of feedback on his new goal, and Michael Brandt's been a great friend. Ketone's a great partner for us, but I just love people who are paying attention to our world and keyed in, and Michael's a good guy, but
yeah, he's a good guy.
It's been today's been just an epic day, dude. I mean, it's a huge honor to have you here. I've wanted to have. I'm big on the history of ultras, right? On just like how special the world of ultra running is. I know a lot. What's getting attention now is like the commercialization or the professionalization. I was going to say professionalism, but yeah, whatever of ultramarathon. And it's good. It's like we want people to be able to make a living racing.
Yeah, totally. Pushing
their bodies, showing what's possible. But then on the flip side of that, we're worried, or not worried, but I'm cognizant of the history of it and just how special Dirtbag ultra runners are, just how it started.
That's what we've been talking about today, is the Dirtbag old school style.
Tell me
driving to the race and sleeping in your car.
Tell me your perspective.
Not in your giant van that has a bed in it, but like literally sleeping in your car.
What are those vans called now that are like a house? What's that called?
I don't know.
Like the...
Oh, you mean like the RV thing?
Yeah. But what are those vans called? Don't they have a name? Like, I don't know. My brother has one. But they have like kitchens and beds.
It's called glamping.
Yeah. So
I have that though now. I'm old.
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
I have a slide in the back of my Tundra.
We'll give you a pass. But yeah, I mean, just to harken back to the old days on just, hey, you show up, and there's a phase I remember my brother kind of mimicked Anton, but he was wearing like the Western button up, right? And you probably did that too, didn't you?
We played around with that when I was a Patagonia athlete. We played around with they actually designed a Western style shirt that was like tech fabric.
Sick.
Yeah, it was cool.
See, I love shit like that.
Yeah.
Now we got Nike with these, look like a runaway model with all these holes in it. So it's like, come on, guys.
No, you can just cut holes in it.
Yeah, it's.
I like that you have the cut up T-shirt like when we were lifting. That's old school, dude. I used to. That's like old school 80s, baby.
Yeah, that's it. But so tell me about what it's been like on this journey. How long have you been running ultras? Is it 20-some years?
Yeah, this is 2026, so this is my 26th season.
26th season. What has been the biggest change you've noticed just in the community?
I mean, one is the amount of eyes on the sport now, just with like live feeds, YouTube, social media, right, has really driven a lot more eyes and also a lot more like I want to be seen type of vibe to the sport. Maybe a little, I mean, I think they, I don't know, like the sport's really changed a lot. You know, it's gotten way more competitive. It's gotten more, what's a good word? People are trying to fast forward before they have the experience.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about this on bow hunting too, because it's also gaining in popularity, but a lot of these young guys who are just so passionate, which I respect, but they want to be at the top. They want to skip a few steps.
Yeah.
It's bow hunting and ultra running. It's one of those things where it's really hard to skip any steps and make it to the top. It's about paying dues, and paying dues sounds like, youngster, be patient. You got to earn this. I'm talking about paying dues with learning lessons. I'm talking about learning lessons the hard way, which I know I did. I struggled in ultra running, and bow hunting is the same way, where I get being the young guy and wanting to be getting attention, because young men, we want attention, right? For positive, for busting ass. So I get it. And is that what you're talking about? Guys who want to come in and just be at the top?
Yeah, and I think we do have better information and better coaching, and now we have coaching. That wasn't around when I started, right?
Coaching. Is that a coaching hat?
Yeah,
on
that's
there
a
too?
coaching hat.
You got to be a kick-ass coach, because the way you are so dialed in on detail is impressive to me. So if you're treating your athletes and helping your athletes navigate nutrition and hydration and all the things that we talked about, then,
everything,
man, they're set up for success.
Yeah, and I mean, also comes with like 26 years of experience too. So there's I had to learn through trial and error. Now we can fast forward a little bit. So there is this benefit of technology, wearables, more information. Like we have more history now, and a history of performance even too, right? So like people are able to be able to like skip, say, 5 years of trial and error, right? And I think that's cool. That's a cool aspect of the sport. You can on-ramp a lot quicker. We have guys getting into it younger.
So how are they saving the 5 years? You mean with the nutrition education?
Yeah. If you have a coach, like they're going to say, okay, try this many grams of carbs an hour, this much sodium per liter. And then all of a sudden, they're not trying to figure that out over 5 races a year for the next 4 years, right? And then by 20 races, they're like, okay, I got this dialed in, which is kind of how I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had some mentors who gave me some tips. Older guys you went out and ran with, and they showed you routes.
Yeah.
This was pre-GPS, and this is this is pre-social media. We just had blogs.
Mm-hmm. I
remember the blog era.
Oh, I remember. It's like, does Iron Far still have? They used to be a big website.
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay, yeah.
They're still out there.
But I used to always have to go to the bookstore, look at Ultra Running Magazine.
Yeah.
Or for a while, Trail Runner was kind of cool, but Ultra Running Magazine had like the results in it. So if you wanted results of a race, it would be like months later, because I think that magazine came out maybe every other month. But
yeah, it was every other month. It was 6 months, 6 issues a year, I think.
Okay, so you'd have to wait for those to find out how anybody did anything. Which I gotta not just social media. It's fun keeping track of people on social media, but Ultra Sign Up. Holy shit, that database is so fun. And it's like, I can't believe, with all the ups and downs we've had in technology and different apps, that they did so well so long ago. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And it's still all that history. You talk about history, all that history is there. And sometimes I'll go back and I'll look at like runners who are totally dominating right now and how they started. And it's kind of good to look at that and be like
see the progression.
See oh, they weren't always legends.
No.
They started off just like everybody. So it's kind of fun.
No, I was there. I was at Western States when Jim Walmsley showed up in 2016.
How'd that first one go for him? Is that when he got lost?
That's when he went the wrong way.
Yeah, or took the wrong turn.
Yeah, he still finished though. I got to give him some props for that. Like he like basically walked it in.
You know, and this got, I even talked about this, but this got a lot of attention this last year. But who was the past winner? Was it Adam Peterman? Or
No. Oh, you mean last year?
Yeah, who? He didn't
Olsen?
win. No, he won before, but then this last year had a terrible race.
Yes.
And basically walked it in, but still finished.
He still finished.
And as a past champion, getting like whatever, 23, 24 hours, it's like...
I think I passed him.
Because
I had a rough race too, and I ended up I was still running at the end, but he was like walking when I went by him.
But I think that I like that.
Yeah, I do
like
too.
that.
There's a lot of respect there. I mean, I understand now in the professional side, like you might want to save your legs for another race, right, and go chase another podium or something. You know, I understand the drop mentality at the front of the pack. But I also come from the old school, and it's like I only have 4 DNFs and over 200 ultramarathons. So I don't like to drop.
No, I get that, and I do. We have talked today because you're doing 100K coming up.
Yep.
We talked about what those extra 38 miles do to your body. So it's 62 is 100K, 100 mile, of course. 38 more miles, but what does that do to your body? It does a lot.
Yeah.
Because most of the damage is at the end of that.
In the last 38.
So I can get, when you talk about professionalism or saving yourself for another day, I get that maybe dropping, say Roach, I think, dropped at Forest Hill. So he got criticized a lot, and I even said whatever, but I guess looking at that part of it, I can see why. Why there's an argument to maybe that's a strategy.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. But I like just people who grind it out too.
Yeah, me too. I mean, your tagline is keep hammering. So.
Yeah, it's not keep hammering if everything's going great and you're having a good day.
Well, mine's giddy up, so let's giddy up.
But yeah, 4 DNFs and 200. That's a high finish rate.
Yeah, they've all been injuries. Like my rule is either injury or life threatening. Yeah. If I'm affected, like my gait's affected, and I'm limping or something, then that's going to go up the chain, and then that recovery is going to be a lot slower. For sure. Right? And then I'm going to be out longer. So that's when for me, that was always it took 15 years and for me to drop. Wow. And it was really hard. It was at UTMB. Ooh. And I took my whole family there.
What happened?
Rolled my ankle. Oh. At like mile 11.
What?
And I gimped on it for 50K and dropped to Courmayeur. And so like one. I kept going up and being like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I would go get med, tape it up, and I'd go jog around the gym at Courmayeur, and then I like come back and almost drop, and then I'm like, I can't drop. I've never dropped. Yeah,
I get it.
But it was smart.
That's tough. Yeah. I'm sure you made the right decision. But
I came back 4 weeks later and got the podium at UTMF in Japan. So
paid off then.
It paid off.
Good decision.
Yeah, it was a good decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. After all these races, 26 years, what do you love about it? What do you love about ultra running?
The training.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the competition. I mean, I'm super competitive.
Yeah.
But and I love to race, and I'd love to beat dudes half my age now.
Okay.
But I do. I mean, I really like that.
I'm sure you're a badass.
I mean, I saw you talking trash while we were lifting weights, so yeah, you get it. So I really do.
I'm not good at winning. I'm good at talking trash. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean. What was the question? I forgot the question.
What do you love about ultra running?
Trash. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, I love the training. I love the adventure. I love being in the woods. I like being in wild places. I grew up like being in the woods. I was an outdoor kid my whole life. I grew up on 700 acres. Like my playground was the creek that was a half mile between my buddy's house and my house. And we would call each other on the rotary phone and be like, hey, meet you at the creek. Okay, I'm leaving. Yeah. And then we'd both run a half mile to the creek and play all day. Yeah. So like that was always, I was outside. I got home off the bus, throw my bag inside. I didn't even go in the house. Like I'd open the door, throw it inside, and I'd be outside. I got in trouble a lot for all the grass stains on my jeans, you know? Yeah. But I just played outside the whole time, and
seems like pure living.
Yeah, and I still get that, you know. And then I became a graphic designer, and then I'm, you know, now a coach. But I work in front of a computer, and so working in front of a computer, it's like I need to get outside, man. Like I can't sit inside the like, you know,
fluorescent lights.
Everything. I mean every day at lunch, I'm out. You know, I'm not an early riser.
Yeah.
So I'm like out the door at lunch. You know.
Yeah, so I mean, you love nature. You love being out.
I love it. And I love adventuring and like cool routes and aesthetics of a route, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like with today, like going up Spencer Butte and on that ridge, man.
Today was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could do this every day. I basically do, but not with cool people. So it's it was so fun sharing this with you today. Yeah. So what do you hope Ultra still offers you now? What's your goals right now? To still win, dominate? What do you
in certain circumstances,
so you
maybe
pick your battles? Yeah,
I'm picking my battles, but I also I'm to the point where I also am very interested in just adventure running and storytelling. You know, coming from like a graphic design, marketing, and branding background, and like art direction. Like I really get into like the media side of things. Like that's kind of a side passion because I'm at heart I'm an artist. You know, so like I want to be able to tell those stories and you know, I grew up on a farm and around campfires and learning to tell good stories to people, and you know, I think I mentioned this today. It's just not about the words. Sometimes it's about the actions and the animation of telling the story, you know, and really getting into the story and even like half acting it out around the campfire or whatever. And I think that kind of stuff, I think that's how I want to give back as I'm getting older, right? You know, I'm going to turn 55 this year. So I want to start that history I have with mountain running. I want to show, I mean, it's taken me so many cool, amazing places, you know, that most people take a week to backpack to. Right. So I just want to be able to share that and tell those stories. And I don't think it's all about racing, even though that's what I've been doing for 25 years. But yeah, I mean, I want to give back too in that way.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully encourage people to get off the couch.
So I mean, you talk about the story. What makes a good story in your eyes? Tell me what's a good story.
Well, you need some adventure.
Okay, I like that.
I think you need something that is out. Hopefully, there's something happens that you're not expecting. You know, and I think that sometimes happens when we're in the wild. It's the unknown. Yeah. And even in a long, especially multi-day ultra, there's a lot of unknown, not in maybe the country. We got the route, but what happens to us along the way? And not like, I'm not talking negative, I'm talking about the challenges that, like, how did you overcome this? What happened when this weather came in? Tell me a story, how did this go? How did you feel during that moment when is pouring rain, lightning striking? What were you thinking? How did you feel? I've had all those experiences. I mean, I got pinned down for 75 minutes at Hard Rock in 2014 with lightning striking all us around us above tree line at 13,000 feet in American Basin.
Yeah.
And we were getting ready to go over Handy's, the 14er. And it was just socked in, just lighting up, just lightning.
What was everybody doing?
Hunkered
down?
Well, I come up on Jason Coop.
Okay.
And he's like hunkered down. And we were in 4th and 5th. Like I was right behind him. And 3rd had just gone over the top. And Adam Campbell just gone over the top. And they were in the first strike on top. And so it knocked out one of their headlamps, him and his pacer. And so his pacer's headlamp got knocked out. So the two guys getting off the top.
Knocked out by the lightning?
Yeah.
Like the electricity?
They were in the charge.
Okay, gotcha.
So they didn't get direct hit. There was no burn marks on them, right?
But it took out their headlamp.
Yeah, it took out one of their headlamps. So they had one headlamp to get off Vandy's. And they got over, but we got pinned down. Because it was right after dusk hit. And it just started pouring rain. I'm talking like Midwest thunderstorm style, like cats and dogs.
Looks like midnight.
Oh, dude. And it's just like flash, boom, all around us. And so we were hunkered down next to kind of a boulder because you're above tree line and you're in a basin. So the only way to get out was to climb like back on the course to go like 500 feet up over a saddle that's super exposed, or it's to stay where we were in kind of like a jumble of rocks. And so we just opted to stay there, but then you're freezing, right? So like,
what was the temperature, do you think?
It was probably in the 40s.
Yeah, so 40 and raining.
And pouring.
Is about as miserable as it can get.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And it was like, and so then then Diana Finkel caught up to us, Kaburagi from Japan, and we were all hunkered down together. And then Diana was from there, so she's like, hey, we can go up. Once it kind of started to move off the summit away from us, it was still lighting up the summit, but it wasn't in the basin anymore. And so we all she's like, hey, we can keep going up a little bit up next to this lake before you do the final probably 800-foot push to the summit. And it was still in this kind of protected basin. So we went up a little more because we were all freezing and we just wanted to move. And so we all went up there, stood for a while, and we were all standing in a group. And I mean, we're at like 100K in, right? We're like 62 miles into this 100-mile race.
All hanging out together.
In the San Juans in southwestern Colorado, right? So like we're hanging out together and just talking. The race has stopped for us for like 75 minutes total. Wow. And so finally, we're like, I don't know how we came up with this number, but we said, okay, at 7 seconds, we're going.
So in between the lightning and thunder.
The flash and the boom. Yeah. And so it was like 1001, 1002 out loud. Everybody's counting.
Yeah.
And then finally we get to 7 and we're like, let's go. And I was by myself. So I didn't have a pacer or anything. Everybody else had a pacer. So I'm by myself. I'm freezing. I get my poles out and I just take off. I leave them. And I'm like probably 50, 80 meters in front of them as we go over the summit. And I go over the summit top, and there you come off the top, and there's like maybe a 20-yard like little switchback, and then a 40-yard kind of flat spot, and then it goes off a knife ridge to the north. I'm coming off the top, and lightning strikes the point I'm supposed to go off of, 40 meters in front of me. I mean, put me on the ground.
From what? Like
you don't even. I just remember going.
Didn't know what to do. Just hit the deck.
I just hit the deck automatically. Didn't even think. I was just like whoom, on the ground, hands and knees.
Wow.
And I don't even remember getting on my hands and knees. And then I was like, the first thing I thought, and I know this isn't right, but you have stuff that's been in your brain from somewhere along the way. It's like lightning never strikes in the same place twice.
Okay.
I just ran straight for the point.
Yeah.
And like ran as fast as I could and hucked off of it with my poles out, just trying to I had them out like I'm skiing. And it's a knife ridge. It's super slit, like scree, and it's like a junky, probably 70, 80, 90 meters down before it kind of goes to like some switchbacks. And then, but you're above tree line for like 2 miles.
Wide open.
It's wide open. And it's just struck there. So I'm trying to get as low as possible, as fast as possible. And I the whole time I'm thinking, I got kids, I don't want to die. I'm praying. And I get down to the bottom. And like I get to the tundra at the bottom, out of all the scree, and I'm like shedding layers because now I'm sweating, from adrenaline and everything else. And from there, I just kind of like keep hammering down to tree line and went on to finish the race and everything. But yeah, man, it was like the most like. So I have, when we were talking about my hoops.
Yeah.
So I have glass hoops. So back then I had metal ones, like stainless steel.
We're talking about in his earrings.
Yeah, earrings. We were talking about plugs earlier. Yeah. So like,
I thought you're pretty close. What were we talking about? Punk? Were you punk rocker?
Yeah, we were talking about punk.
Yeah, so I thought gauges would be.
We need some gauges in there, right?
Yeah.
So I was saying I had the biggest hoops you can get before you go to plugs, because I've had them stretched multiple times.
Okay.
And so like I after that experience, I remember thinking during that lightning storm that at the top, I was like, oh man, I got freaking stainless steel on my ears. It's going to go right through my brain. I'm like a weather vane.
Yeah.
And so like after that experience, I came back to Bend, Oregon. At the time I was living in Bend. And I went to a local piercing shop who had a custom glass maker who made glass custom blown glass stuff, and I asked for glass hoops.
Yeah.
So these are black glass.
Gotcha.
With a rubber thing on the back for safety, in case I'm ever in a lightning storm on top of a 14er again.
Yeah, there you go. You're set now.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So when I hear that story, and I see we got a filmmaker sitting over here, like how do you capture? That's what I want captured in a film. Those moments, because what we get in the films is aid station stuff, right?
Yeah.
But what happens, the epic stuff is on the course. That's where the challenge is. It's like, Dylan, when can we get this cool stuff in film?
Yeah, he's gonna have to be my pacer.
This is, or this is animation, I guess, because you tell a great story. As we talked about, there's art to being a storyteller. I'm there with you. I want to see it.
Right, totally.
But yeah, it's God, what experiences though. But that's what the mountains, so unpredictable. Normal life is pretty predictable, in general. Just in the comforts of whatever civilization. The mountains, that's the allure. It's wild. We don't know what the is going to happen.
No.
That's the beauty of it. That's what makes my soul feel alive.
Me too.
I look at the mountains and I'm like, what is going on up there? I want to be there.
Yeah.
That's the draw. And I don't know, those special, like that was probably scary, but also an experience you'll never forget.
It was scary, but exactly. And invigorating that I survived it, and you appreciate life a little more, and you look at your family and like, I'm glad I'm still here.
Yeah. No, it's, I'm sure your wife, questions hearing stories like that, what you're doing out there. But yeah, it's part of the lifestyle.
I think it's more when I've had mountain lion encounters, which she doesn't like.
I heard, I was listening to you on, is it Free Outside, right? Jeff Garmeyer?
Yeah.
Is it Free? Yeah. And you were talking about like 3 different mountain lion encounters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard you telling that story.
I've had multiples. I had a really close encounter, like, probably 20 meters.
Wow.
At night. Mm-hmm. It was pretty intense.
That's intense. Yeah. Well, tell me, like, okay, so of all the races, tell me about I think Jeff asked you, what did he ask you? Something about, your best race. So I think that was probably performance related, but tell me about a time when you were like running with somebody and you guys were just working together so well, and a competitor, but you're having so much fun doing what we love to do, running in the mountains. Do you remember a race like that, or is that more of a training day?
I mean, mostly training days because I'm competing. Yeah. But in something like, say, Cocodona, right? Like for a 250-mile race, you're not racing at the beginning. You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So like, Versteeg and I, that's how we first like really started connecting, is in the race.
Okay.
And now we're good friends, but like that day we ended up running next to each other for like the first probably 70 miles, like within 40 meters of each other. We kept like, at first it was just us kind of trading and like kind of talking a second and saying hi to each other. But then eventually, once we were on the Senator Highway after Crown King, we were just running together on that dirt road. And we're just like chatting about being dads, and because he had he had a baby and or a toddler at the time, and I had 3 kids, and so we just talked about being dads, for like a long time.
That's great,
which was really cool, because you're running at conversational pace.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing about ultras.
Yeah, ultras is conversational pace. It's so social.
It is, yeah. No, that's I mean. And and we've talked about it before. Mostly, I've had this in training and in hunting, but when you share something so hard and you're both going through it, it does make that connection with that person seem stronger, real. It's like a shared suffering. People have talked about this, but I know the big days I've done with anybody, either my buddy Roy or training with Courtney or my brother. It's like you can't simulate that connection other than sharing experiences like that.
Well, I think sharing miles in general, it's like breaking bread together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like having dinner together. You let your guard down. As soon as you're warmed up, right? It might be awkward in the first 20 minutes, right? That's like anybody meeting someone for the first time. But like even people you have never met before, you go run with them for even an hour. And by the end, you're like chitty-chatting like you'd known each other forever.
Forever, yeah. That's
I mean, today's run was a good example, right?
Yeah. So tell me about how did today go versus what you were expecting? Because we did the lift, run, shoot experience. As I said, it's a huge honor to have you here.
It's an honor for me to do lift, run, shoot.
Well, so this is what I do. I love sharing my life with people I respect and people who I'm like, I hope this person gets it, just gets like this love for training, for pushing, for trying to grow. And some people get it, some people don't. Most of the people I have here, we all get it. But tell me what it's been like and what you've thought of the experience so far.
Well, coming up this morning, I was like, I'm a little nervous because I don't know the agenda.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about this at breakfast. After we ran, it's like, I'm a tactical person.
Yeah.
I need to have a plan.
Details,
You should see my spreadsheets for Cocodona.
Right. I didn't really even say anything. I just said, hey, here's my address.
Yeah,
see you at
address
8.
show up. Yeah. So that's where I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're doing first. Mm-hmm. I mean, he does say lift, run, shoot. So maybe we're lifting first.
Yeah.
So I was kind of ready for anything. But one of the cool things is that's kind of a cool way to do it, because then it's like, how when we don't expect, when we're not sure about something, that little even if it's in the background, that little level of anxiety or stress that might come along with it, mm-hmm. It's actually good for you.
Yeah.
For you to have to face that, because you're actually building new neural pathways.
Exactly.
Right. So it forces you to just roll with it, which mm-hmm. ultras do. You're never, nothing's ever going to go according to the spreadsheet.
No.
Right? Or the splits mm-hmm. that you have planned. You have to have contingency plans.
Yeah.
A goal, B goal, C goal.
Yeah. No, it's and you were today, I didn't even really know what I was going to do. I got up this morning and I'm just like, so I'm asking Truett, I'm like, so what do you got to do today? So I'm trying to time where we could start and do this. I didn't really have a plan. I didn't even tell James, who has to film all this, right, that we're doing the whole lift, run, shoot. He thought we were just doing a podcast. So my communication with you wasn't just me and you. It's like I never talked to anybody. So I was just kind of spitballing this morning. And so my plan was we'll go to Blanton Heights, we'll hit Spencer's, we'll run down. Truett was going to be doing, I think, 10 or 12 400s on the track.
And we had to call an audible. James, pick us up. We're not going to make it to Truett in time. He's on his 8th repeat.
Yeah, we were a little behind. So James came in and tracked us down. We went to the track. But yeah, it was just, I don't think it could have went, in my mind, I don't know what anybody else thinks, it couldn't have went any better. This was like the perfect day for me.
It was one, and you guys made me like drop me on the 400 repeat.
Oh, those things hurt, dude.
Yeah, they do.
This freaking sucks.
I used to be able to run fast, man, on the track when I was in high school.
It was, but
it was good. It was humbling to be like, man, I haven't. Well, yeah, he ran. What did he run?
70. Yeah,
70.
Yeah,
a 70-second quarter.
Yeah, so it's
I can't run that anymore.
Pace.
I can't run that anymore.
It's a 440 pace. Can hurt.
It hurts especially in trail shoes.
Yeah,
not super light racing flats.
I traded.
Yeah, you had light shoes when you left me. I was like, dang it, he's got light shoes on.
Yeah, it was.
I was making excuses in my head.
One thing I did notice, and we talked about, we've talked a lot about people like to criticize or shit on other people's dreams, but one thing I thought today, and Truett hasn't done a lot of track workouts, so maybe
his second track workout actually,
but. To be accurate. It looked pretty easy for him to run that 70.
He was
70.
so smooth. Yeah, and he threw an extra. He was supposed to do 12, and he ended up throwing it a couple more.
Yeah, I mean, but it looked not hard for him.
No, he was looking really smooth.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. But so that was great. It was fun. I'm glad you got to meet Truett, just because I've looked up to you for so long, and so it's nice that you got to meet my son. Element was created by former research biochemist Rob Wolf and has enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium to move the needle and get you feeling and performing your best. Plus, it has zero sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients to derail your low-carb lifestyle. That's why Element is my go-to electrolyte drink and trusted by many of the world's leading health experts and athletes, including Team USA weightlifting, coaches, health practitioners, and teams across professional, collegiate, and high school sports leagues. You're also guaranteed to find an element flavor you love. Try fan favorite citrus salt or raspberry salt, get spicy with mango chili, or mix chocolate salt into your morning coffee for a mean mocha. Element is offering listeners of the podcast a free Element sample pack with any purchase at www.drinklmnt.com/cam. Also try new Element Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. One of my favorite packages that I get on a monthly basis is a Black Rifle Coffee Club exclusive coffee roast. They're the only coffee I drink, and supporting them is supporting veterans and the outdoor community. The exclusive Coffee Club subscription gives you nothing but the best. It's a Coffee of the Month club where you get premium roasts from the best farms worldwide. Black Rifle Coffee is America's coffee. It's veteran owned and operated. They support hunting and conservation and give back immensely to the veteran community. They're offering followers of the podcast 20% off on your first purchase to the Coffee Club or order on their site using code KEEPHAMMERING to get America's coffee today. And then we had the OPH. How was that breakfast? That's a staple.
Solid. I mean, come on, man. Clarified butter. They cook in clarified butter. Yeah, like, who does that anymore? Not very many restaurants.
No. Lots of good food. Lots of good memorabilia. I can't talk today. Did you guys drive by Hayward?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I had been there.
Oh, you had?
Yeah, so the new stadium, it was there for the trials in 2012.
Oh, was it?
So
I can't remember.
Yeah, the owner of Foot Zone and Ben Teague Hatfield and I and his son Sam and my son Ben are both really close in age, and we came over and watched Max King run the steeplechase in the trials.
Right. Okay. And that was at the new stadium.
Yeah, and he surged to 6th.
Oh man!
In that race, and this is a cool thing about trail and mountain running. Mm-hmm. He hadn't done any track workouts. He showed up on just vert training and mountain run training.
Whoa.
Because that's when he was doing like the shorter mountain, like the Xterra stuff.
Right, yeah.
Right? It was just running Xterra, not the bike stuff. But when the Xterra was doing kind of that to like the current Golden Trail Series stuff.
Right.
It was kind of there's multiple organizations trying to get shorter mountain running going.
Yeah,
in the U.S.
And he got 6th?
He surged to 6th.
Oh, God. So I wonder how far back from 3rd was from making the team. Do you remember?
I can't remember how close. But we were like, what? He's like making a move like last 3 laps.
That's a performance.
It was sweet.
I love watching track meets there.
Yeah.
I don't love running on the track, but I love watching track.
Yeah, me too. Same.
Yeah. And Max, did you train with him when you lived in Bend?
Yeah.
He's a stud, isn't he?
We trained a lot together in the off season because once we all got into our seasons, we were at different like peaks and tapers and but we would hook up and he also like we had an ongoing for 12 years on Wednesday noon run out of Foot Zone in Bend for 12 years. Like it was like a staple social run. And it was fun. It was fun because all the faster guys in town, like some of the ex-Nordics, like elite Nordic skiers would show up. And we'd all show up and it would be social till we hit the river trail. And there was a spot where it splintered. And whoever felt saucy that day
and
could go for it.
How far was left there?
We'd only do the trail section, so it'd be like a 1.5 mile section of like hammering on the trail.
So the last mile and a half,
and we'd all come back together in the park because half the trail it was like a 7-mile loop from the shop, and you go down through like Drake Park from downtown, and you follow the river trail through the old mill, and then when you hit the river trail south. That loop part of the river trail, there's one hill. You get into the river trail maybe a 1/2 mile, and there's a really steep hill, and that's where it starts to splinter. Okay. Because someone would feel saucy on the climb.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, everyone's throwing down, and it's splintered. And then we'd come back together in the park at the old mill, and we'd kind of all jog slow and let everybody
recover a little bit.
And we'd all catch back up and then socialize all the way back. So it was always really fun because someone always wanted to throw down.
I bet that was fast. I mean, how fast did you guys run if somebody's feeling
we
good?
were running like 5:45 pace on the trail. Yeah. Like we were like, on your left, people.
Passing people.
Yeah, totally. It's just wide enough though in most places it was pretty good.
5:45 on a trail, passing people walking, it feels like you're flying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, but you guys had some legendary runners back then, in that part of the country.
I mean, at that Ian
time.
Sharman was there.
Yeah. Is he Ian? So he does the Eugene Marathon now, right?
Yeah. He's been doing a lot of marathons lately and kind of not as many ultras.
He came over for, we had elk chili, and he came over with, he came over here with, because I think he coached Alexi.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe in the Olympics or something like that. But yeah, so he came over, we had elk chili, but he's super nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy.
God, what a nice guy. But yeah.
He's actually the one responsible for me like switching my career from graphic design to coaching. Like he's the one that put the idea in my head.
Okay.
Like he was moving back he had moved down to the Bay Area, his wife had got a job, and then he was moving back. And we ended up being neighbors, and again the same neighborhood when he moved back. But when he came back, we would always run together, and because he came to that noon run, and he would we met at a pub for some pints, and
he's a good runner.
Yeah,
I mean,
he can drink a lot of pints.
Yeah,
he's Brit.
yeah. He seems very proper, but
he can drink some pints, man, and he won't even slur his words.
Really? Yeah.
Watch out.
Well, that's opposite of me then when I drink. Yeah. So, and who else was there? So.
Let's see.
You said Rod.
Yeah, Rod
Max.
Bean at the time was running and racing and sponsored at the time. We had a whole nother little contingent of like XC Oregon Nordic guys that were there that were runners in the off season, in the summer. So they were always like around training, doing a lot of run training. So a lot of fast dudes in that, especially in that sub 2 hour race kind of zone, like a half marathon trail race or something.
Gotcha.
They'd throw down in those kind of things. Yeah, they're fast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was just gonna say, so during that time, tell me when, like, how did sponsorship come in at that time? Like, when did you?
I got sponsored in 2003.
2003.
Was the like back then? It was like a couple free pairs of shoes and a jersey, and
but it
some
meant
shorts.
a lot to be sponsored.
Oh, back then, yeah. I mean, it was like a small cult sport.
Yeah.
It was the Montreal Patagonia team. So back then, the first two kind of major sponsors in ultra running was a little shop in Seattle. Montreal was started with, but at that time maybe 20 employees. Patagonia was up and coming, but still a small business too, and they're growing. And the two of them teamed up. One, Patagonia provided apparel, and Montreal provided shoes, and then. So I got on that team. I was on like the JV team, the C team or something.
Yeah.
Scott Jurek and like Carl Meltzer were like on the A team,
Gotcha.
Because that's when Jurek was winning Western States and Carl was like winning like 600s a year back then. And then all of a sudden in end of 2005, Columbia bought Montreal. And so then that was a conflict of interest, obviously, with Patagonia because they both make soft apparel. So Rod Bean came to I had an office downtown Bend as a graphic designer. I had my own business, and he came in, and he had a retail store downtown, and we always meet for coffee and stuff. And he pops over to my studio and was like, "Dude, did you just hear the buyout?" And I was like, "I don't care about Montreal shoes, but I do care about Patagonia.
Yeah,
like I love their gear.
Right.
So like we approached them, and they were like, yeah, we'll still sponsor a team. And, that was the beginning of my buddy George, like managing the team. We didn't have contact with him directly yet. We were destined to be friends later, but
what was his role at that time?
He was kind of managing the team, but we had a different team manager at the very beginning.
Okay.
But then eventually he became the team manager, and that's when it really took off. That's when I actually started getting paid around that.
How did it take off? Like,
with the team, we started this grassroots ultra running team, Patagonia ultra running team.
Yeah.
It was just a North American team. I think we might have had one athlete in Japan. And then, if I'm remembering right, I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
This is like 06, 07, 08.
How does it grow like back then, like before social? Like, so were you guys just
blogs
showing up to races, kind of putting on a little bit of a show, getting some buzz, and then that just keeps growing?
Yeah. And I had a pretty good blog following. I mean, that's kind of how the Bronco Billy thing took off.
Okay.
Cause I was like, it started as me being, you know, a graphic designer and branding and marketing and doing logos and all that kind of stuff. And so in about 2004, I want to say, I started a blog, and I was like, man, jeffbrowning.com wasn't available. And you know, being a branding person, I was like, oh man, I need a URL of some sort. Yeah. And so I was looking for I was like, well, I could try Bronco Billy, because I had a buddy that gave me that nickname and that I trained with. And I was like, I'd do that. And then I was like, I couldn't find broncobilly.com. And I was like, well, I need an action word. And it can't be run, because what if I get injured? And I can only ride my mountain bike, you know? So it's got to be, you know, so action words, that's where gobroncobilly.com came from. Oh. And then when social came, I was in marketing and tech. So I immediately got, you know, Go Bronco Billy handle for Instagram, and everything, Facebook and everything else.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it started, as this blog for my family in the Midwest. I was doing race reports.
Oh,
so I would run like when I won Bighorn was my first 100-mile win in 2005.
Okay.
So I would piece together photos and I would write a blog post race report. And I would rate. It was more to like entertain my family and keep them it was like an article, right, on the race and about how it went down and everything from my perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started to kind of hone like Bronco Billy being like an alter ego.
Oh, okay.
It was more of a joke at first.
Yeah.
But it actually is like solid neuroscience, right?
It's great, yeah.
Right? He's your alter ego, and you don't let him out of the stable.
You're Bronco Billy, you got to go.
Yeah. And you don't let him out until halfway.
Right.
Because he wants to race. He's he's in the stable, he's like, he's stomping, he's like,
yeah.
You know, he wants to race.
I love it.
And so that I started doing that as a joke at first, but then in the races, I started using that visually, like, okay, hold back now, Bronco's out, let's go.
Nice.
You know, and so blogs kind of took off. They were like the precursor to social media, right?
Right. This is like Facebook was what, 2008?
Yeah.
Something like that. So you had 3 years to get your storytelling under you. Yeah.
And I was just doing that. And then everyone started calling me Bronco, you know, like Rock Horton, Chrissy Mail, Joe Grant, you know, Scott Jurek.
Yeah.
The guys were, hey, you know, and then I'd be like races and you just hear, go Bronco, you know?
Love it.
Like some people didn't even know my real name.
Right. Yeah.
You know, some people would just be like, hey man, aren't you Billy?
I get it.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. Hey, how you doing? But cool. That's how it kind of grew and took on a life of its own.
Okay. So then, and then like, where did your career go? So you did the blogs and social media came on. And then how was your sponsors and all that? How did that grow with your success? The Patagonia Ultra Running team became a contract position at Patagonia. So like an ambassador role, which is like one of their contract athletes in their trail running sector, right? Because they have surfing and climbing and all that. So it was kind of, you know, went into that role and then I was in Patagonia, started to work on footwear. And I really wanted to I'm a designer and, you know, like as a runner, you know, if you're a biker, your gear is like the bike, right? Your key piece, right? If you're a hunter, you know, bow hunter, it's your bow, right? But like runners, your shoes. Yeah. And so I really loved footwear. I had worked at a specialty running store when I was young, like in college. And I had helped Foot Zone in Bend brand and market and do all their marketing materials. And I was like, one of my good friends was the owner. And I just really wanted to be in footwear. And I got this opportunity where Patagonia started to work on footwear. And they'd done casual footwear a little bit and they were dabbling in it. And they were working, like partnering with Wolverine Worldwide in Michigan, which, you know, owns like Merrell and a bunch of other brands. And so I started working on footwear and we designed a shoe. And I was like the key person testing, working with the designer and the product line manager and coming up with a shoe that I wanted to race in. And that was in like 2012, 2013. We were developing it. It launched in 14. And at mid 14, Patagonia decided we don't want to be in footwear.
and they pulled.
Oh.
And that's when I went to Ultra, and Ultra became like my new home for the next 11 years.
Okay.
And so I was balancing between half Patagonia and half Ultra as my main sponsors.
Okay.
Then I had a few other sponsors, but those were my main two.
And Patagonia was outerwear or race gear.
Yeah, it was like clothing, and they weren't doing footwear.
Yeah.
And Ultra was only doing footwear. So it was a good partnership between the two. And that's when I realized I was their test size too at Ultra. So I continued on in that role because they were small back then. I came on when they were 4 years old. And so it was a small, little, tiny company, and I was like really involved in like the direction of footwear. Like I was running in prototypes for years. I was running in prototypes at like Hard Rock and Western States a year before those shoes came out. Because we were like, you know, this was like, you know, if I was racing in 2016, I was racing in spring 17 shoes. And we were fine tuning them. You know, I mean, I even raced in prototypes that were like hand put together where the sole started to come off,
right?
You know, in the middle of Hard Rock and had to switch, you know.
That's tough.
But like that really like got this like passion for like footwear development and innovation, like going and like, oh no, the creative process. Like I was at that point, I've been in graphic design and art direction forever. And I was kind of getting to that point in my career, you know, this would have been like I'm in my 40s now.
Okay.
And I'm just like, man, I don't want to do branding and design anymore. I really like to just be in footwear and like running, you know? And so right around then is when I launched, like 2016, launched a coaching business. And then within a year it was full time. And then I continued to this role at Ultra. And I was really clicking with Ultra. And at the time, Patagonia was kind of shifting things there, and I just wasn't quite aligned where they were going, and I just was really wanted to be in the ultra space and really focus on performance and running and shoes. And so that's when in 2020 I went over like as my primary sponsor to Ultra and kind of just retired from Patagonia.
Gotcha.
And then that, you know, fast forward to, you know, this year, and that's where kind of the Keen thing kind of started.
Did when you were so involved in like the ultra footwear, how like receptive were they to like your feedback and your ideas? Because sometimes I've done testing for some of these companies, and like you have a good idea or a nice change, and then
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen, and you're like, why are you even wasting my time with this? So how receptive were they to your idea?
Most of the time, really, really well.
Okay.
I mean, there's some stuff that just can't happen in the production and I learned a lot during that time. You know, like what can be done, what can't be done, where we are in the process, right? And that's where as I moved forward, I was like, I need a relationship where I'm like I want a place at the table before it goes to spending any money on a mold.
Right.
Or the last.
Because then you're kind of locked in.
Because then you're locked in. Once you do the mold.
Yeah.
The mold, if anybody doesn't know, is like the midsole, outsole. Right? That becomes a metal mold that the shoe is then locked in. You can change densities and materials in it, right? The kind of rubber or the foam, but you can't change the shape of it.
Right.
So you're locked into that design, and the only thing you could really influence is the upper, the materials in the upper. That's it. So at that point, I was just like, and it's very expensive once they release to the mold, right, in footwear. So like, I wanted to be, you know, I'm a designer. I can envision things in either from like a blueprint and a 2D, and I can also envision it in 3D. If now that we have 3D printing, the tech is now great. They can do that mold in a 3D print, and you can look at it and put the upper on it and envision it, even though it's a piece of plastic, right? But like you can go, oh yeah, oh no, that's not wide enough, or you know that tread needs to be farther apart, or you know the knobbies or whatever, you know, because my focus is trail running. And so like that part of the process, I'm like, that stuff like gets me so like jazzed.
Yeah, I saw this designer just the other day at the Bow Rack, and they were designer for Nike forever, and so he had some new shoes in there. He's designing for another company now, and like I'm looking at like because Speedland I'm involved with, but those knobbies on the bottom get too close, or they're holding mud, right? So they won't shed the mud. Too far apart, they're not getting the grip you need. So there is a science to those knobbies on the bottom.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then
otherwise, they might clog.
Well, it's weight too. So more sole, heavier it is.
Well, this is something we talk about all the time, and I think I said this to you today. If you can shed 1 ounce off a shoe, at 170 steps a minute times 60 minutes, that's 638 pounds less you have to lift.
Right.
Like
that
that's
adds up.
Significant.
That shit adds up.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So it's like there's a sweet science to designing like the ultimate shoe, like
especially for trail.
Yeah, for a fact.
It's very different from road.
How so? Like durability? Or what do you mean?
Durability, but also like stability. Because you think about like in road running, you're just going forward. Yeah. Right? So you just need return, especially with these new super foams. They just need return forward because you're never dynamically moving laterally. But in trail running, your forward step could be off camber.
Yep.
It could be on a slick surface. It could be on a very uneven, rocky surface. It could be like off the side of a rock or a boulder. Yeah. Right? I mean, think about the stair steps and the wet spots today, right? Just the rubber compound alone makes it stickier or slippery.
Right.
Like
and
skis.
People know, like, if you see a wet rock at an angle, there's certain shoes where you go with so much confidence because you know it's going to grip. And there's shoes where you're just like, now all of a sudden got to like put your hand down or something. And it's like it changes everything. So the grippiness of that rubber that they're using is a huge deal. Yeah. How hard it is when it's cold, how soft it is when it's cold or warm. Yeah, it all matters.
It does matter. And and then another one is just like little things like, not putting too, like the back of the shoe could have too many lugs on it compared to the front of the shoe, for example, right?
Tell me.
Meaning, if you held that thing on your finger and it was balancing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right? So then it makes it really heavy on the back end of the shoe.
Okay. Right? I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and then also, I mean, there's the narrow, like I've looked at like the shoes I wear, they're super wide compared to, so these shoes, like the trail shoes I have are about twice as wide as these shoes.
The road shoes.
Yeah, and it's like because we need that stability, and they're lower. So it's like they talk about stack height, but also I can feel where my foot is bedded in that shoe and how far that is from the ground. No matter what the stack height says, I can tell if my foot is a little higher or lower in that bed. And it feels different comparing different shoes. And all that plays into how I feel running. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. You'll give you confidence, or you're going to be like, oh man, I'm feeling sketchy.
Yeah, definitely. And so with the shoes, like how hard was that to leave a longtime sponsor? Did they make that decision for you, or how does that work?
No, I mean, Keen approached me, and I, considered it and talked about like what I wanted as a, I was like, I want to be in innovation and footwear development. Like I want to be, so to speak, a seat at the table.
Part of the process.
Yeah, part of the process.
Yeah, we'll have a say.
Yeah, I always wanted to say early in the process, and they were willing to kind of get to like give me that. And
was it your relationship with George that probably was a big part of that?
Well, I mean, that's how they wouldn't have had that conversation if I didn't know George.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, someone needed to know me really well and approach me on it. Because I wasn't looking to leave. I mean, I love being at Ultra. I thought I would retire there, as a sponsored athlete.
I feel like it's a relationship business. We do the sponsors, but it's more than a sponsorship.
Heck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just like, well, I mean, I think there's some people out there just like chasing a sponsorship money or a deal, but not me. Mine's all about, I mean, I hadn't changed sponsors in over a decade, Like I've had a few new partners come on because I use their product, and we've talked, and I'm like, I like your product. Can we figure something out?
Yeah.
But I've always it's always been a both ways.
Right. Yeah.
Because I like their product. I don't want to support someone if I don't like what they do.
Oh yeah, of course. So how's it tell me about the Keen relationship. What's your thoughts on that and where you're going?
I mean, I just got done. That's one of the reasons I'm in Oregon. And I was in I've been in Portland for 2 days with meetings at headquarters. And I mean, I looked at George the other day. I was like, dude, this just confirmed I made the right decision. Just
spending time in the office.
Yeah, just like how they're set up, the team they've assembled. They've been in outdoor for like 20 some years. Mm-hmm. And so they're already in it. And there's a bunch of runners there already. Mm-hmm. And so it just makes sense that that's what they would move into, and they have some cool kind of aspects to their business too. Like I'm in on the ground level. This team has just been assembled, right, in the last year. So it's like, it's all people I've known in the industry for a long time. I trust, I really respect.
Mm-hmm. And designers and
from the designers to the project line manager to the head of trail, like all of them. And I know that like I have confidence in all their abilities and their skill sets. And I feel like they're set up for success, and they're also dedicated to be here. Okay. Like, they're not in it for like where we've seen a few brands come in for a couple of years and then they're gone, or they dabble in it and then they're gone.
There's like, we got to do something in trail. It seems like it's getting pretty popular.
Yeah, exactly.
Put out a trail something.
What I love is they're starting in trail.
Yeah.
They aren't starting in road.
Right.
And that's where the business is. The business is big in road, right? That's a majority of the road running or the running business. But they're marathon, starting in trail where their roots are.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, because the marathon world is exploding. And people, I think a brand would see that as look at all these potential customers out there. Whereas Ultra is a smaller crowd, but it's like you want somebody that's cool that they're starting there. And like, I hear that the team's good. I hear everything you're saying. What makes a great trail running shoe in your opinion? I mean, to make the ultimate trail running shoe, I assume that's your envision and that's what you're talking about with Keen. What is that? What does that look like?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, light.
Mm-hmm. How light? How many ounces?
I want it to be in the 9s.
Okay.
But I also want like sticky rubber. Mm-hmm. I want lugs.
Yep. Good
lugs that shed mud, but also are going to be good on wet conditions. They're going to be good in dry conditions. Good foam. I mean, there's so many foams out now. Yeah. Like the tech and foams changed in the last 5 years is amazing. The innovations that have happened there. So, obviously a light dynamic foam that gives you a lot of energy return. A fairly minimal upper, like not overbuilt. Mm-hmm. I think that's important.
For weight, for sure.
For weight and just for like, it needs to breathe. It needs to drain. Mm-hmm. Because trail running, we might have to go through a river. Yeah. Might have to cross a creek. I've crossed a few creeks in my day in races, and
I used to drill holes in my Under Armour shoes for that. Now I think, don't they have shoes that have hole like the
some do? Yeah. So there's some designs. The only problem is it lets it in too.
Yeah, for sure.
But you just want to be able to get it out.
Yeah.
And there's innovations in materials now, and it's just like a lot better materials. They're more durable than they used to be. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's a light, wide-based trail shoe that's not going to tip, feel tippy.
Yeah.
You're not rolling ankle.
Yeah, I had Under Armour had fat tires for a while, and those had it was kind of pretty. They were tall, and then the sides were kind of like this, very tippy.
Yeah.
I mean, so
that's when you get a road running designer.
Yeah.
That's in the design department designing a trail shoe.
Yeah, a whole different world.
Yeah.
I get it. So, that sounds like a great shoe. What about color? Do you have a preference on color?
Oh, I don't care. Well, it depends on the race, right?
Yeah.
So like something like Cocodona that's hot, you want to be in a lighter shoe.
Yeah.
Right?
I can tell, if my shoe's dark, my foot is getting hot.
No, the studies can show a 10 to 15 degree difference in your foot.
Definitely.
So if you have a dark shoe on a hot day, and especially if there's direct sun exposure. So, it just depends on, I mean, I have black. I'm a former 20 some years of an art director, graphic designer. Like we're all about black.
Punk rocker.
Yeah. But more about just like the art director look, you know.
Oh, okay. Black is badass.
You got your black jeans and your black shirt on and your black frame glasses.
You got Johnny Cash, Travis Barker.
Exactly. You got to be Johnny.
What more do you
got to
need?
have a Johnny Cash shoe. You always have to have a black version of the shoe.
Yeah, I like bright
guys,
shit.
at least.
Like you know, these
I like
shorts.
those shorts, by the way.
Yeah.
I dig those.
I like bright, like little personality. But
Do you sell those Keep Hammering shorts?
yeah, I sell them.
I need to get those.
I'll hook you up. You don't have to buy anything. Yeah, so
those are dope. That one especially.
Yeah, this is the
That's
Aztec
inspired
design.
by Cocodona, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That was fun down there. Okay, so that's cool. What about? Are they doing any boa thing, or what's your thoughts on boa versus laces? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't like boa.
You don't like boa? How come?
I just feel like it can, when it fails, if it fails.
Yeah, you're.
Yep.
I haven't had it happen, to be honest.
I know a few people have had
Really?
boas
Wow,
fail.
that's not great then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we've dabbled in boa as well when I was at Ultra, and I just never was a big fan. But I love boa in certain circumstances. I love them in my like SPD shoes on a mountain bike. I love them in my ski stuff, right? But from a running perspective, I just like laces, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And it's heavy.
You mean the boa compared to the laces?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is heavier and it's more expensive.
Yeah, sorry, Speedland.
Yeah, anytime like you start getting a Michelin or a Vibrant Soul, something, whatever's branded, whatever has a copy or a whatever
trademark, yeah.
But and then you add on boa on top of it, then all of a sudden the cost of that shoe,
that's
you're
the
paying.
the price point is going to go up.
You're paying for that shit.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. And you think Keen is? Do they have a shoe out yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Seek and the Rome, and there's another one coming out.
Have you raced in them yet?
No, I just been running in stuff right now. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And prototypes.
Gotcha. Well,
I'll be racing in prototypes probably.
Okay.
Because we're working on a shoe that I really want to influence.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I love that.
So we're working on prototypes of that right now.
How is so you talked about your philosophy on sponsorships. How do you see sponsorships nowadays in ultra compared to before, and where do you think it's going? I mean, being a pro ultra runner, can people make a living doing that now?
The Spear Point.
Yeah, a couple people.
Yeah, a couple people.
I mean, how does that sponsorship world look? Because you've been involved in it for so long. How is it?
I mean, a lot of times you're trying to piece together multiple sponsors to be able to make any kind of money.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously the Spear Point, the really good ones that are winning major races like Western States or UTMB or podiuming there, they're going to be able to dictate more money in their contracts. And now we're having agents on the scene as well.
What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think overall it's good for the sport because I mean it takes a lot of time, man. I mean, my wife and kids have sacrificed for me to be in this spot. You know,
like what you mean?
The
time and training to be a pro runner.
Yeah,
right.
If you want to perform, especially in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like especially at my age, like you got to put in the time and you got to do everything. Like we were talking about today, mobility. I got to do mobility. I got to do nutrition and food isn't cheap.
No.
You know, my budget is expensive for a family of 5.
I understand.
To eat organic.
I understand.
You know, and eat good red meat and steak. And I mean, I get a half.
Yeah, but if they're not training that hard, they don't need to eat that much. You need that.
I know, but I got 2 boys.
Oh, okay. But what you're saying is, would an agent take some work off your plate so you can train, so you're not taking...
Well, and they're going to go negotiate...
You're not working deals and
training. But you got to be a pretty good, like already kind of proven, I feel like, to go in that direction. Otherwise, you're just trying to get your foot in the door. And the other thing you need to do as an athlete, and this is a tip for all those young ones out there, like... It's not just about performance. It's like, what are you giving to that brand?
Right.
Like, what are you providing besides like racing? Because that doesn't last forever.
So what could an athlete give?
Well, like for example, my passion was the footwear side, right? So like I followed that rabbit trail and learned about it.
Okay.
And like leaned into that. And so I understand like I can talk to the the lingo and the verbiage, and I know the process, and I know what steps they have to go through, and I still am learning.
To just streamline getting from the athlete to producing a great shoe.
Yeah.
That process.
Yeah,
you can
and understanding
streamline
that it's 2 years out.
Right.
Or more.
Right. I understand. Okay.
Right.
So, but not every young athlete is going to have that passion or have that knowledge.
But what's your niche?
What can you offer the brand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think always, like I tell my kids this all the time, you should always have a side hustle.
Yeah.
Right? Don't just put all your eggs in one basket, because you can get injured tomorrow if you're an athlete and you're out. And then what are you going to do? Right. So if you really are passionate about running, we'll find your niche in the running industry, whatever that is.
If somebody wanted to be a pro ultra runner, what's your tips? Like if they say, I know there's kids around here like this, young runner, his in-laws live down the street, Rodney Williams. He's really good. He trains all the time. I know he'd want to be sponsored because the races cost a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And he's had some good success local here. He did Mammoth. He's won this Frozen Trail 50K over here before. So what tips would you have for somebody like that who loves what we do and wants to be a pro?
Well, you have to, you just got to start putting in the time. Mm-hmm. And make it a lifestyle habit of training, learn about training. If you can't afford a coach, learn about training, right? Read books, watch whatever you can watch, and figure out like how to train intelligently so you don't get injured, because consistency is king, right? We need to, you got to just put the work in, day out, show up, right? And then you got to start performing. If you want to get sponsored, you got to start performing.
Right.
So you can't just show up to the local 50K. You can learn at the local 50K.
Yeah.
Right? And build confidence at the local 50K. But most people aren't going to fast track a sponsorship.
Right.
I mean,
it can be a grind.
It can be a grind.
Yeah.
And you have to just be committed if that's really what you want to do. And you got to go show up to some big races and perform.
And show you're got what it takes.
Yeah. Against good competition.
So that's what's challenging sometimes, because I've seen runners do that. So I've talked about, I got Rachel Entrekin coming on. She showed up. She's won 20 some ultras in a row and wasn't sponsored.
Well, she and I talked about this.
Okay, what did you guys come up with?
Well, she got an agent last year.
Okay.
And so that's how she finally got sponsorship.
Oh.
But she just wasn't getting into the sponsorship cycle, right? You have to be talking to these brands before the budget's decided for the next year, and that's September and October. So before their next year is, starts, you got to be like in there, like making contacts. Who do you need to talk to? Sometimes it's just who you know in the industry, and getting in the right pile or in the right email, right? And then you have to go do your research. You got to work, not just work on the trail, but you got to go work at the computer.
Some people might think that, hey, I'm winning. What else do I have to do?
Yeah, and there's that a brand's just going to show up and say, "Hey, we'll give you money."
And knock on the door and hey,
it doesn't happen that way.
We got 2 big bags of money for you.
So I told Rachel a while ago, before she got an agent, I just said, we were talking about sponsorship after she won Cocodona.
Second time, because she's won the last 2, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, "Do you have a sponsor yet?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But she's like, she was a busy PT. And so she just hadn't got into that cycle.
Yeah, she's
of
just
figuring it out.
Working
and training. That's all she had time for.
When are you going to hustle a sponsorship?
Yeah, you got to know when to do it. One of the reasons I got sponsored in the first place was back in 2002. So before the 2003, when I finally got on the Montreal Patagonia team, Sean Meisner. We were talking about him today.
Yeah, I love Sean.
Yeah.
He gave me
shout
salt.
out to the Colonel.
Yeah.
That's my nickname for him.
I was hurting pretty bad at we come out of the canyon or the first part of at Western, super hot, mile 55 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Michigan Bluff.
Yeah, he gave me a couple salt pills because I was struggling, and and I don't even know if I knew anything about salt, but yeah. So I'm always thankful for that. That was 2010, so it was a while ago.
I mean, he's the one that told me how. He's like, you need a resume with photos and what you've done and what you could do for them.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And so I designed a one-page resume,
business?
right? With you want photos of yourself racing and what you look like in a headshot, or whatever.
I think your look helps. I mean, I think it helps to have a look.
Well, we talked about today. We need personalities.
Yeah, you got to be marketable.
Yeah.
And so I like people, I like the personalities of these eccentric racers that have their own thing. It's awesome. I love it. Courtney's got her thing.
She's got her
everybody
thing.
knows it. It's so sick. But
yeah,
it's do you think that a woman or a man has an advantage over each other in going for sponsorships?
I don't know. I mean, I might be neutral on that one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think there's been a huge growth on the women's side, but we need more growth there.
Yeah.
Dylan
brought up a point. Maybe not Dylan. Maybe somebody else told me this. We don't have to make you whatever, but about women filmmakers, like to tell a great story on a woman ultrarunner. Would a woman filmmaker offer something different than a male?
Perhaps. Yeah.
I never thought about that at all.
That's actually a really good point.
There was who's that? So Courtney had one, I think, called The Source. Maybe wasn't that a woman filmmaker who made that? Yeah. So I mean, I just never had thought about it, and maybe that's why. Is that why that film was so successful? Because it's about Courtney, made by a woman film. I don't know. I never thought about it before. So I just figured it out.
Well, I think that a woman is definitely going to bring a different perspective than a man. Mm-hmm. And we need like all those voices in the sport.
Yeah.
We need all the storytelling.
And this is like, I am as far from PC as anybody can get. But I wonder if I think about society nowadays, and I think about, would a man filmmaker have more freedom to take chances, or feel more freedom to take chances as opposed to a woman filmmaker? I wonder. Because being a man and woman is different. The world perceives your work differently I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying sometimes that shit happens. So would a man who's had success be like, I want to tell the story this way, and I don't care what you think? Where would a woman not have that same mind, but you all mindset? You know what I mean? So to me, a good film, the filmmaker has to feel free to tell their story.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this unspoken, I don't know what. I just wonder if that impacts it at all.
In certain circumstances, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have an answer, or even I never even thought of this before today, but I just wanted to get.
You're just free flowing, dude.
Just all I ever do. I'm just like, I wonder if.
What I'm impressed by is you don't even have any notes.
No, and that can get me in trouble, because I thought because I've been on Rogan quite a few times, he never has notes. So I'm like, I'm going to do it like Joe. I'm not Joe. He's 10 times smarter than me and is such a great conversationalist. So
dude, that dude can pull some stuff.
Oh my God, his memory.
He is so diverse in his knowledge base.
Yeah, he knows
much respect there. It's pretty cool.
About so much.
I love it because he can just pull stuff out, and you're just like, where did he get that?
It's about any topic almost.
Yeah, exactly. He can talk to almost any topic. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna have a little more coffee, but yeah,
I'll take a little more too.
Okay. Yeah. So the not having, sometimes I'm like here's the problem I have is I get people in here, we train all day, we've talked for hours today.
Yeah.
And now what are we supposed to talk about now? So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but it always works. I don't know how. It works. Tell me how much.
Just give me half.
Okay. But yeah, so it's definitely, I'm getting better coming up with stupid questions, I guess.
Hope you didn't want cream because I just used it.
No, that's all good. Anybody else want any coffee? You good? You good? Okay. Yeah, so I just, whatever. I kind of like having, once I have, here's the difference between me and Joe. Joe can sit down with you, never having met you, and somehow have amazing questions. I do better when I spend time with people and have like a little connection.
I like the pre-interview that we did by doing all the stuff we did today. Right. Then there's already a slight relationship there. I liked it.
It feels.
We were talking about this yesterday, I think. Like Dylan and I and George were talking about like the pre-interview idea.
Yeah.
Where you hang out and pre-interview someone and then you do the interview
for a film.
Or just for in general.
Okay.
To get to know someone, right?
Oh,
so it's not just cold turkey. Mm-hmm. I think that's one thing I was thinking about today. I'm like, I'm glad we hung out all day.
Yeah.
Because it makes the conversation just way more laid back.
I do better. I just know that, maybe Joe wouldn't need that because he's just so good at having good questions or good conversation or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think I am, but I just feel more comfortable doing it like this. And then training and just around. So what do you think of those crazy movements we did? Tell me about that.
Those are sweet. Actually, I'm gonna use something. I need to get a full rack set up because I wanted one. You made me inspired me to want to get back doing bench again because
you're bench strong.
I used to be able to be really strong, but I'm not anymore because I've been trying to keep this upper body from being overbuilt.
I understand.
But one of the things I want to do is I quit racing. I'm going to err on the side of muscle.
When you quit racing?
When I quit racing hard, like competing.
Well, we talked about for longevity, muscle is a superpower.
Well, and I want to build more. I would spend more time in the weight room and more focus in the weight room and less on volume of training as I quit competing.
Yeah.
Because I'd just rather be a little bit more of a muscle head because I love that. I love lifting weights and I love being able to when you guys were benching and going back and forth, I was like, man, I wish I'd been benching. I want to bench more. And I like the chains on the bench. Bench is not going to help you win your
3,300th though. I mean, so if you want that 33rd win, stay off the bench.
Yeah, push-ups and pull-ups.
Yeah, but I love doing the weird. I'm always looking at social media, looking for different training and stimulus, and then I just like working the little shit for being my best in the mountains.
Yeah, the balance stuff.
Yeah,
it's never a solid surface, man. It's always a weird, it's not a flat surface. Rarely.
Yeah.
In the mountains, right? It's off camber, or it's slick, or it's going uphill.
And sometimes who doesn't catch a toe every once in a while? How fast can you correct? How fast can you recover?
Well, that's why I'm big on mobility.
Okay. And that's kind of what I do because I know I'm always when we ran down the steps today pretty fast, I said, it's like the football tire drill. It's quick feet. So I'm always I just want to be an athlete. And I do it for bow hunting, ultra running. I only do ultra running to help me be a better bow hunter, but I want to be an athlete in the mountains.
Yeah,
and
right.
I just think all that helps me is what in my head. That's what I believe.
Totally.
Yeah. But so on you're going to be 55. How are you still performing at such a high level? It's feels like a new age of athlete performance for our age of person. How is that?
Well, I think that my decades of aerobic base helps.
Well, we talked about what about muscle
and lifting?
Yeah,
I've been strength training since 8th grade.
Because there's runners, and you can't compare one human to another. We're all so different, but you can say who's lifted weights, who has a little muscle to protect their joints, and who doesn't, and see how that plays out later in life.
Well, and you have to do the little stuff. For me personally, to continue to perform, mobility has been a little more of a focus in the last, say, 5 years, in my 50s. So when I go to the weight room, I have a 15-minute routine where I do a bunch of mobility work and then I lift. I do that 3 days a week. So no matter what, I'm getting 3 days a week of mobility and strength.
Strength training. Okay.
Now that strength training's different focus on different days.
Is it dumbbells? Is it free weight or what?
I do a lot of dumbbell work, but I do some big moves like squats. I'll do I like to do squat, hinge, and then some kind of asymmetrical lunge, Bulgarian split squat. So RDLs, Bulgarian split squats, and squats.
Okay.
Right. Or my 3 big ones.
I see.
And those are the Bulgarian split squats and the RDLs are with dumbbells. But I increase, so 3 different focuses a week. The early in the week, farthest from the long run, I'm doing heavier weight. So think, powerlifting type sets.
Okay.
Right. So first one's a warm up, a little lighter, maybe 12. Then you're doing 10, 8, 6, 4, and then a burnout set with half the weight you finish with. So whatever your heaviest weight you finish with at say 4, you shed the weight in half, and then you do a burnout set.
To failure?
Or close to failure.
Okay, where it's hurting pretty bad.
Yeah, or where you lose form.
Okay, yeah.
And I really focus on engagement too. So like I'm thinking like 2 to 3 second count on the lowering of weight and then exploding when I lift the weight. So always like working on eccentric load.
Yeah.
Like I want, because you get 70% of your strength gain in the lowering of the weight, right? Eccentric load.
We do negatives, like you can't push it up, but you can go down slow.
Yeah.
And you're still getting, as you said, 70% of just like lifting it.
Well, and that's one of the things, the benefit of like, say you're trying to get a better bench. One of the best ways to do it is to do your normal sets like you would. And then at the end, have a partner that you can lower and then get it. You're lowering it, and then they're helping you lift it back up and lowering. Maybe you do 2 or 3 at the end, right? So it is beyond failure.
Yeah,
those are really good.
That's what nobody wants to do.
No, nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to bust them out really fast. That's
and be done
in the gym. That's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
Is the muscle heads who like bouncing the weight off their chest. It's like, dude, like you're wasting your time. You need to be like lowering that weight slow.
Feel it.
Yeah, you need the burn.
My daughter was doing
quality, not quantity,
squats the other day, and she was like, "I'm like, what are you doing?" She told me, and I said, "Okay." I was sitting here. I said, "Keep doing them. Tell me when it starts to burn." So she kept going. I said, "Still look pretty easy." Kept going. I said, "Okay, now we got to do 10 more." When she couldn't hardly do any, now we're going to start to count, and that's where most people are done.
Yeah, most people rack the weight.
Yeah, they're done by then. But that's where the growth happens. And I was even explaining, that's my mindset. Like when we were going up that hill today, I was telling Alexi Pappas was here, and we're running up Pisgah. And it's different because track, I don't really get track, but whatever. I'm like, when I'm running, like when we went up that trail today, I like that trail that's where I do my, just try to get the quads engaged. But when it starts to burn is when that's when I'm like really focused on my quads and I'm thinking of those fibers breaking down. I'm like, finally now this is where I wanted to get this whole time, to where it hurts so bad from the burn. I'm like, this is all I care about. I didn't care about any other shit. I only care about right now and how long can I fight this off until I can't go anymore. And I have in my head where instead of that being a negative, that's a positive, and that's where I wanted to get. And now I'm envisioning my legs just getting stronger and stronger with every step. And so I've turned it into
I like that.
A positive.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
cool.
No, this is where all the gains happen. And
we were talking about that with the band stuff we were doing. Like,
kind of, yeah.
Right? When you get the shake.
That's it. And so
you need that.
I translate, it's
like embrace it.
It's a lifting mentality into like running up a hill. And you can't do that in a race because you're going to ruin your race if you try to, we know that on a steep uphill, we want to hike it, right? Especially early in the race, you want to blow out your quads. But in training, I want to blow them out. And so I'm like, that's the kind of the mindset. And Alexi was saying like in track, they would do their repeats. And it's always like, even today, you're like you're about at your limit at the end and then you're done.
Yeah.
You're not going past that. That'd be like going another 400 today, and nobody does that on track.
No. And I think there'd be a high rate of probably injury.
Probably. That's why they don't. And I get it. And it's just, so she's like, I've never thought about this muscle fiber and burning and pushing and growing. Never thought about that ever. And she has the Olympic record for Greece in the 10K. And that was a new phenomenon for her. So it's this meathead mentality into training for the mountains.
Right.
I don't know if it makes sense, but it does to me.
I think it does in specific circumstances, and especially in what we do. Like if you look at a mountain runner, they're definitely more like a Nordic skier. They're more muscular overall.
Yeah.
Because we have like a lot of dynamic movements, and just running uphill in general is a strengthener.
Yeah.
Because of the load.
Definitely. I mean, I never hardly train legs, but I have good legs just from running the mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think strength training in the gym would help, like what you do. I think if I did that, I think, I mean, maybe I'll win. I got one win in my ultra running career.
I like to do squats, like squats, RDLs, and Bulgarian split squats.
Yeah.
Those 3 moves, and then once a week I do leg curl, leg extension.
I used to love leg extension in the gym.
And I really like doing that stuff. And then the other 2 days are more like dumbbell work, upper body, lower body core, dumbbell work, flies and curls and tricep kickbacks and stuff like that. And then a lot of like lunges and squats, ATG split squats, if you know that move, where your knees out over your toe.
Yeah.
Like I've really focused on that in the last couple years.
Do you have your athletes do all this too that you coach?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we have specific strength, and it depends on periodization phases. Like if they're in the off season, we'll do heavier weight and maybe more time in the weight room. And then when they get into like big volume training, it's more maintenance work in the weight room. Because I like going out and doing upper body, lower body dumbbell work because it works on full range of motion, right? And it forces you into full range of motion under a slight load. Even if you're doing lighter dumbbells, you're still doing it through a full range of motion under a slight load.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So there is a stimulus still there.
I like it.
But sometimes it's awesome because it's just you need to be able to, like we were talking about, like if you kick a rock and you go from 10-minute pace to 4-minute pace, try not to face plant.
Yeah.
Those who have good range of motion in their hips and in their knee flexion and ankle flexion might be able to pull out of that and maybe just tap a hand down, right?
Yeah. Or not land on their face.
Or you kiss dirt.
Yeah. Lose all their teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's
shear them off.
What I've always heard, and Mark Bell told me this, he's a big weightlifter lives in California, stud, but strength is never a weakness.
No.
So that's they have a motto there. Strength is never a weakness. And then
except in the marathon, and we've been talking about Truett today.
I know.
He's got to shed that upper body weight.
God,
it's going to be hard, man, because once you build it, once you've done that work,
it's like
the body doesn't want to let go of it.
We've talked about this with him. It's like there's a set point, and his set point of his body where it naturally wants to be is heavier than where he needs to be. So you got to fight that body set point.
Yeah, the only way is if he had never like really got into lifting weights.
He was almost 190, so he's really has to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah, some of his old pictures I've looked through is that he was jacked. He was huge.
That was when he, like we said, in 2023, he ran 60 miles the whole year.
Yeah,
only lifting.
Wow.
Just and then so he hasn't. Yeah, I mean, so this is just different.
I love that he's going after it, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it'll be.
I can tell you're proud of him too.
Oh,
it's fun to watch. No, I mean, I get the dad thing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, so when I see the retarded comments on there from some people who aren't supportive, it gets a little. But we're so used to social media.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does your hackles go up a little bit?
We're so used,
especially with your kid.
I mean, it's hard not to get a little bit protective, but we're so used to hate, dude. We've got a lot of hate for a long time. And like I told him, I said, listen, you got a lot to hate. You're good looking, you're ripped, you're, everything people would want to hate on somebody for, you got it. So
right.
Just got to expect it.
Yeah.
But
let it roll off you like rain, dude.
Yeah. Tell me, like, in your, like, coming up with this long career, who is your ultra running hero? Like, did you have one, or were you in like at the ground level?
No. I mean, Rock Horton, was a huge mentor and influence on me. 10-time hard rock finisher. Like, we shared a campsite and learned we both played guitar at Bighorn in 2005. That was my first 100-mile win, and he was on the Montreal Patagonia team, and we just we clicked. And he just took me under his wing. My kids called him Uncle Rock. And and they still are like an influence in our life. And he doesn't race anymore, you know. And
how old is he now?
He's got to be in his 70s or close to it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so he helped you out early.
Yeah, he was in his early 40s back then. And just was a great mentor. He was probably the biggest influence on me, like from a personal level, like one-on-one. And then others, you know, I obviously like looked up to Scott Jurek. You know, he was like the man when I got in. Him and Carl both, Meltzer, were both like, you know, dominating the sport when I got into it. You know, cover of Ultra Running magazine and stuff like that. And Scott was like when I got in 01, Scott was like starting his domination of Western States, that 7-year run where he won every year and finally got the course record.
Yeah.
And then it's been cool. Like this whole long thing has just been this, like, I think the coolest thing about our sport is like your heroes become friends at some point, right? So like Scott Jurek, for example, was like on the pedestal for me when I got in the sport. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like fast forward, he's kind of retired from racing. I'm still doing it. And then he comes out and like the last 4 days on the Colorado Trail FKT in 2024, like pushes me to get the record in that direction, you know? Like he's like the last downhill, he's nose to nose with me at the top of the descent.
You said you guys were forehead, like
almost forehead to forehead.
Like football helmet.
Yeah,
like when guys are yelling at each other.
OG Bronco.
I love it.
And just like, yeah. And they got me yelling and like.
Is that on film? Did you film this? Come on.
Oh man.
All this good stuff.
It was we were telling it to see these stories come out while you're running.
I know. I love it.
Oh man. It was just like so intense. And then, you know, that really, we already knew each other from over the years, you know, and you know, but it was more like we'd run into each other by sponsors or like at outdoor retail or, you know, but that really cemented a friendship that then fast forward to like Jamil going after that Chipotle record last year in Tempe. We went down for the last 40 hours.
Oh,
like he called me.
Wow.
And it was like, Bronco, I'm freaking heading to Tempe. I'm getting on an airplane this afternoon. He just goes, you're driving to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I go, what? I got to talk to my wife. Like, and so I talked to Jen. And it's awesome because she always puts things in perspective for me. And she goes, Jeff, if you would have went back to 2002 when you ran Western States for your first time and said, in 20-some years, Scott Jurek's going to call you and ask you to go to Tempe, Arizona to hang out.
You got to do it.
You would drop everything.
You got to do
go.
it. That's a legend.
And I was like, totally.
Yeah.
And I just texted back, I'm on my way.
Oh, how amazing is that?
That's what's cool about our sport.
That's life. I mean, that's so the winning, yes, all that is amazing. You've had an incredible career. To me, that's what stands out. Stories like that, friendships like that, moments like that. That's what being a human is. That's what we cherish. Those moments. And it's just I love it. I love that because you can only get a moment like that when you're immersed in something you've loved for so long. And Scott's loved it. You've loved it. There's this connection. And now you're just like, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Was anybody else that?
I mean, Carl Meltzer has been a really good friend and buddy over the years. And I've always respected him and what he's done, you know, and obviously he's got the most 100-mile wins in the world, and I'm second. Many? So he's way ahead of me, dude. 50-something now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I only have 32. I'm not catching him.
Dude, that is nuts, though.
Yeah.
32?
But he was running like 6 a year, you know, 600s a year and winning 5 of them, or, you know.
Does he have a nickname?
Speed Goat.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, dude.
So you guys
both trademarked that.
You guys both got the sick nicknames.
Yeah.
That's right. Speed Goat.
I always say when we get together, it's like, man, we got to get Bronco Billy and the Goat back together.
Oh, that's just epic. Yeah. See, that's what we like. You know, just like Mean Joe Green. Remember him?
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah, dude.
You got to have a nickname.
The Steelers were my team, man. I grew up near Kansas City, and the Chiefs sucked in the 80s.
Lynn Swan?
Yes.
Because we were receivers.
I was a wide receiver, yes, sir.
Yeah, Lynn Swan. Yeah, he was the man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
who do you think is the up and comer just that has this that you think is going to have a great career? Who's your favorite?
Hans Troyer.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Hans. We were teammates for 1 year.
Okay.
We had Ultra. Yeah. And he just signed with Hoka this year.
Okay.
I mean, he's a character.
Is that the kid?
The kid.
Okay, yeah.
And he's a good old Georgia country boy.
Wait, he's in a trailer? Like, does he live in a trailer or something like that?
Yeah, he said like an RV trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he could save money, right, and just run.
See, I love that.
But if you watch the kid,
I think so. Yeah.
Or he's like,
did he get sick or something?
Yeah, but you remember he was like riding wheelies and stuff on like a motorcycle or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh yeah. That kid.
That's a free spirit.
Yeah,
there.
I grew up on for 3-wheelers, man. I could ride a wheelie for a quarter mile.
Yeah, a free spirit. I think that's my favorite type of person right there.
Yeah.
But Hans Troyer, what about on the women's side?
I mean, obviously Rachel's the big up and comer,
Mm-hmm.
right? She hasn't been at a major race yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. To see what she's got that dog in her when it gets tough.
When it gets really tough in big competition.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she mixes it up with like hundreds and 200s, and right. She's obviously a very good 200-mile runner, but I want to see her like on the world stage in 100.
Me too.
That's something. You put pressure next week.
I will. Yeah, I like her because she said she wants to be on Shit Talkers. She said she's a good shit talker. I'm like, okay.
Oh, she's a talker, all right. She can go.
Good. I love it. That's the personality we need.
Yeah, dude.
See?
Yeah.
It's I love these characters. So okay, and speaking of that, your film, Dylan's film, but you were featured, The Chase. There's been some iconic ultra running films. The foremost was Unbreakable.
Yeah.
How do we, and that The Chase, I think that was kind of the formula maybe.
Yeah, it was an ode to to Unbreakable.
So how do we make these great films? I mean, we can't keep going to the cookie cutter of the 4 top guys, can we? Or can we? I don't know.
I want to see the top women film. Which they're working on.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be sick.
Because they need the right field too.
Right.
You need the right field to come together, right? And when The Chase came together, it was like, well, we got a good field of men, so we need to make this film.
And right? Is there thought on, okay, you take the 4 maybe favorites, but are we looking at the biggest characters, or is it the best runners?
I think what's cool about ultra running is you could pick 4 people, or for example, in The Chase, right? They picked 5 guys to follow.
Yeah.
And then Harry like throws a wrench in it, right? So.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't the featured one, but he won, right?
No, and he won.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about ultra running, right?
Yeah, it's unpredictable.
You can say, yeah, these are our 5 favorites, but like then some 2 other dudes are gonna show up and be like, or 2 other girls are going to show up and like throw a wrench in your film. And then you have to figure out how to tell this story. And that's it's challenging, but it's also a cool aspect of our sport.
Right. Unpredictability.
It's very unpredictable.
Yeah. And the hundreds, I think it's a little easier to predict the outcome of 100, even though it's not perfect, but way easier than a multi-day.
Oh yeah.
The multi-day,
sure.
I can't believe only one person, Harry, was the only one to screw up that plan. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that
a lot of dudes rose to the occasion in that race.
Tell me, like, how late into that race did you think you were going to get the win? And when did it change?
I didn't think about it. I didn't expect to take the lead that early, like mile 85.
There was a time. Oh, God. Yeah, you're lying, dude. Okay, so anybody who hasn't seen this film, go watch The Chase. It's
on YouTube.
It's an incredible ultra running film. But there's a line in there where you say, it's not what you wanted, but it's what you needed.
Yeah.
Dude, that gave me chills. And I think you were you were getting emotional. But to me, that's real. That's emotion. That is real. That is.
Well, it would have just fed my ego, dude, if I'd won. You know, sometimes you don't need that.
I know. I mean,
sometimes you need a little humble pie.
It was amazing for you in that moment to say it, to verbalize it. That's what it was to me. We might know that or we might think that, but to say that and admit that and you can see it's real. To me, that was beautiful cinema.
Yeah, I'm glad he caught that, and he pushed me on that question. Like. I think Dylan's good at like that.
Yeah.
Like he really was like asking harder questions, but also like when he asked like where should we do the interview, I was like, man, I want to go back to the log I got passed at.
Yeah, that
Like,
was so that was like from the drone shot, right? And you stopped, and then Harry passed.
Well, yeah, Harry
right?
comes out of the trees, so they didn't get it on film of him passing me, but
Okay.
they were expecting, because there's a set of trees that you climb up into the back of Buffalo Park, and then it's a straight shot through Buffalo Park, and that's where they had the film, and they had like a drone, and they were just waiting on the live feed for someone to come out of the pines. And I was in the lead the whole time, and all of a sudden Harry comes out, and they're not even sure.
And that's where who was the announcer? I can't remember, but saying like, "That's Jeff Browning," and it wasn't.
Nope,
Oh,
wasn't me.
Oh God! Then they're like, "Wait, no, he was wearing." I can't remember how it went, but anyway, it was just so real and raw. Just because I've done that race, I wasn't winning, but I just know I mean, it's testing everything you have. It's pulling every ounce of life from you at times. It feels like to keep going. So in that moment, how did that feel? When did you think? Yeah, tell your mindset. I want to know.
Well, I mean, when I started having those breathing issues, I didn't start thinking about I might be able to win this until like maybe 15 miles to go.
Because you led for, how long did you lead?
165 miles.
God, that's a long time. So with 15 miles left, you thought I could win this thing?
I might be able to win this.
Okay.
But then it's like, I was also like a little bit in dream state because my O2 sat level was so low with the like, for context for listeners, I had an upper respiratory infection like 3 weeks out. Kind of got over it like 5 days before with symptoms, but like after talking to docs afterwards, you basically put yourself in a stressful situation. You get a cytokine storm, and then it comes out as reactive airway, which is basically a swollen airway. So you're like you're breathing through a straw, and it was just
not the greatest for running.
No,
Yeah,
and not at 7,000 feet, and
Right.
then have to go over 9,300 feet.
Yeah,
right. Climb
test.
Eldon at the end. And so I slowly and then it pushes your oxygen saturation level down in your blood, right? So we're sitting here at this table, we're probably at 98%, and I was after the race I was 83% after a half an hour sitting and resting. So going over Eldon at 9,300 feet, I'm sure it was in the 70s, which that's when you start to pass out.
So low.
And I was feeling lightheaded. I had legs, but I didn't have lungs, and so. Which then messes with your coordination. And then once I went over Eldon, I think it pushed my O2 sat level so low that on the downhill, I couldn't get air.
Oh.
And so I kept stopping and I could only get really a little bit, some air through my nose. So I would do nose breathing. I was like,
That's weird. Couldn't get air through your mouth.
no,
but through
none through my mouth.
Huh.
It was like someone had blocked it.
Okay, so you came off Eldon. When you come out, how many miles you got?
Well, so that was the old course.
Okay, yeah.
Because we went up the hard part, you came down.
Oh, yeah.
Up Eldon, the hard rocky part. We went up that, and then you go down the road on the west side.
Okay.
And then you go down through. So you guys went around the south side, right? And went off the east side.
Yes.
We went off the west side, which is mainly just a gravel access road to the radio towers, and then into single track.
That's what they were saying on the film. They're like, oh, it's pretty much smooth sailing now.
It is, dude.
If he's leading now, he's got it.
And when I took off on the top, I was running like 750 pace. Like my legs were there.
Oh God.
Then all of a sudden I started getting lightheaded because I'm not getting enough air.
Yeah.
And so then I had to keep stopping, and they were just getting closer and closer to me. And I was just in la la land, man.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was like coming into the back, it was like literally a half a mile from the back of Buffalo Park. So the climb up into Buffalo Park, that's where he caught me.
Oh, I got you.
And he was running and I was walking, and I couldn't really run anymore because of my
You'd accepted
lungs.
your fate at that time, just like,
I got to walk it in, and if he catches me, he catches me.
Yeah.
And when I saw him, there was a log like right there, and I just sat on the log waiting for him to come up, and accept my fate. And it was like that. If you watch the film, I was like, I sounded like the Godfather because I was like, I can only they talk like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, Harry, you get the win, man.
Oh God, that's epic.
Yeah.
What a moment. I mean,
it still cuts a little to the heart.
I know. I can imagine.
Dude.
I mean, I can imagine.
250 miles.
God, you
I wanted that win so bad.
So hard for so long. But that's
why I'm going back this year.
Multi-day ultra running.
Yeah, it is. And then that is it.
That's the nature of the business.
Yeah. I jokingly told Dylan, the filmmaker, like, hey, I did that for the film. We needed some drama.
That was it. Well, it was like I said, it was amazing cinema. I mean, it's in some ways it sucks, but in some ways it's like it's such a vivid picture of what ultra running is.
Yeah.
And it's just like if you don't understand it, watch that film. And you won't know what it feels like at that moment, but you might have a little better understanding on how hard these athletes push, how they're willing to lay everything on the line just to see what they're capable of. And that moment we'll see the raw emotion of wins and losses, when enough is enough and when it's not enough. And that's just how it works out there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it's fair. It's just the way it is.
Right.
Oh, God.
I got a bonus question for you.
Okay.
All the years of hunting, I have you ever seen anything crazy, like weird, like cryptid, like Bigfoot?
Oh, no.
I always wanted to ask you that.
Nothing crazy like that out there.
My 14-year-old said, Dad, you got to ask him.
Yeah.
You got to ask him about Bigfoot.
I haven't seen anything like that. I mean.
Anything that made you went, what was that?
No. No. It's all pretty, yeah. This is intense. Big bears.
Yeah, right.
Buffalo in Africa. It's all like, it might feel better to see something crazy because it might not be as dangerous as a grizzly that's, wants to kill you.
Totally, dude.
But no, I haven't seen anything nuts like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's wow. What an awesome discussion, dude. I'm so pumped. James.
Yeah.
So we go to the peanut gallery here for bonus questions.
Right on.
Yeah, so we might. Yeah, I wouldn't be holding out your hope for anything good here, but
yeah. Hold on, let me get down to him.
Usually about butt plugs.
I have something that I think would be interesting for you guys to talk about.
Okay.
You guys have both dedicated yourself to a craft for a very long time, and personally, that inspires me a lot. And now you guys are you're still competing at it. I think you have so much respect for it. But you're also, in some ways, people are looking to you guys. You're giving back in certain ways through storytelling, all these things. Is that important to you? Do you think about that? I think you guys are to the point in your careers where it's you've been doing this craft for so long. Is it important to pass the message, pass the culture?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, for me, yeah. Especially as a graphic designer and storytelling and marketing and branding and just loving good stories and good, even a campfire story, whatever. I want to tell those stories. And I think it's really cool to it's inspiring to me when I hear cool stories. And I want to hear them. I want to see people struggle. I want to see them get challenged and overcome, and sometimes not overcome. And failure is like a stepping stone to success. Too many times you look at failure as something we want to avoid.
Yeah.
But actually, we need to embrace it. Mm-hmm. And I think teaching a younger generation of runners or bow hunters or whatever, might not get the bull.
Yeah.
Right?
Usually you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Success rate without cutting with the bow is 10%. So most people don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah. So the process is what we need to lean into.
Yeah. It's, and life is suffering and we are going to suffer. So where I've had the most growth is when I've suffered the most on long hunts, hard races. And that's when you're faced with who you really are. And so if us talking about this and sharing our experiences and sharing how this special, whether it's bow hunting or ultra running, has impacted our lives and changed our lives for the better, if that can influence others and inspire others, then they're going to have a richer life just based on us talking about it. And if somebody can have a richer life because they're in the mountains, they're healing, they're that's as real as it gets, surviving in the mountains, right? And pushing yourself and just sharing that with other humans. If that can change or allow somebody to access that and feel what I felt, then that's what I want. So that's what I'm trying to do. I don't have really any huge goals for what I need to accomplish in my life. Just sharing how impactful this has been for me that's enough. That's why I want you here. That's why I want to talk about this. I want these young guys to listen to this and be like, I want to be a 50-some-year-old, haggard, broke down ultra running bow hunter and have 6 stories. I want to have a story like Jeff Browning just told. And that's so if us sharing that gives people like that something to dream on, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I want to get clawed in the back of the head by a territorial owl, which has happened. Cascade Crest.
Did you win the race?
Yep.
Oh, of course. Of course you did. Okay. What do you got?
Well, since you said you've been listening to the shit talkers, then you might know what's coming. But the opening question we've asked a bunch of people, and it's marry, kill. Have you played this game?
No.
Okay. So marry, kill is like one night stand. You get to have fun with it for one last time. Marry is that's what you have for the rest of your life, and kill is you never get to experience again. So you got to do this for all 3 of these: Western States, Hard Rock, UTMB.
Marry.
You got one you're going to do over and over. Kill, you'll never do it again. One is one more time.
I would do it over and over and over if I could.
Which
if I
one?
could get to all 3.
No,
I
you
thought
have
you're
to
saying
pick.
I got to do
No,
all
You
3.
have to assign each one a category.
One is marry, one is kill of those 3.
Oh.
So one you're never doing again, one you're doing over and over, and one you're doing just one more time.
Well, I'm going to do Hard Rock over and over and over and over.
So you're going to marry Hard Rock.
Yeah, I'm marrying Hard Rock for sure.
So you got one more time for one of them, never again for the other.
One more time for Western States, never again for UTMB.
Okay, there we go. We're killing UTMB. We're Western States, and we're marrying Hard Rock.
Okay. This next question.
Hard Rock's my favorite race, man.
Love it.
This next one is one I got into a little hot water for, and now I like asking ultra runners this question: is a 50K a real ultra?
Yes. It's far, by definition, it's longer than a marathon.
Yeah.
So it's an ultra marathon. So I've heard that question, and I always am like talking out loud when you guys ask. I'm like, of course it is. Like, it's longer than a marathon.
Yeah.
You guys can't like redefine ultra marathon.
Well, okay.
You got to come up with a different name then.
I know. Well, tell me how this makes sense to you. How can a 50K 31 miler be an ultra and the Monster 300 be an ultra marathon? How are those both ultra marathons?
Because they're longer than 26.2 miles.
Come on.
They're not the same.
One of them is just a wrong turn of a marathon.
They're not the same.
They're definitely not the same.
One's
One, you're home by lunch.
Yeah, here's the problem.
not for everybody.
I know, but and one,
Definitely not for James.
You might not survive.
Sorry, I couldn't handle it. I had to talk some trash there. He's home by like 3.
I'm running
Maybe
through the
happy
night.
hour.
I'm running through the night on my 50K.
He's early evening if it goes well.
if I cut the course.
Yeah. I just don't get how those are all the same thing.
They're
It's
not.
like a 10K.
That's what. It's not the same. Just like 100 is not the same as a 200. We've
Well,
been talking about that. It's
yeah,
not
but
the same.
people are
Multi-day
like-
is not the same as a one night out.
They're like, what is an ultra marathon? It's like, oh, well, it's anything from 31 miles to 100,000 miles. What?
Yep. Ultra.
Okay.
Ultra, yeah.
This you guys are talking about Cocodona.
I'm so glad you gave me that question. I've been wanting to. I've been yelling at my podcast every time I listen to it.
We're here for you.
All right.
You guys are talking about Cocodona. You said you're going back. You're hungry for the win. we had another guest on the podcast who's also hungry for the win, Kilian Korth. What are your thoughts?
Bring it, Kilian. You better bring your A game, boy.
Well, how's he going to win and you're going to win?
Oh, he's not going to win.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, see, I like that's a good promo right there.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, dude.
See? This is what we need. This sport, like Dylan Bowman's ruined this, like just being so positive and supportive of everybody. We got to talk shit.
Yeah,
Come on, Dylan.
Well, I'll go back to I've coached Mike McKnight for a long time.
Yeah.
And
he's going to win too.
And when I signed up for Cocodona, he goes, "Man, I'm so stoked to race you in a 200." And I go, "You better bring your A game."
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Kilian, you better bring your A game.
I love it. I love it.
Obviously, you guys talked a lot about kind of that old school dirtbag mentality, but then you also touched on having access to a lot more data and, you know, what comes with that, nutrition and training. So how do you kind of blend those two worlds?
The dirtbag and the new
the dirtbag mentality.
Science.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the, what's his name?
Well, we're dirtbagging it right now. We've been going all day, and I'm sweatier than crap, dude.
Me too.
I stink, but it's awesome.
I can smell my balls.
I like it. We're losing it.
We're getting to shit talkers.
Yeah, we are. This is gonna have to be a shit talkers outtake.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you think? The new science, the carb heavy, 2,000 grams of carbs an
hour,
a minute.
Where do you draw that line where it's just time to kind of
Or just I had
buckle down?
Swisher Sweets is what I used to start with.
Black and milds?
So it's a little bit different.
I don't know how you. Well, the blend. I mean, I think the dirtbag thing is still there.
Okay.
I do. I think, sleeping in the dirt
Love it.
and showing up at a trailhead and sleeping in your car. I think that's still there. It's not as prevalent as it used to be. Mm-hmm. But I think the underlying heart is still there, and I think that's one of the things I'm interested in, like keeping that heartbeat alive.
Yeah.
Just by telling stories and like we're doing right now. Like I think that part of the sport is a key part of our sport.
Yeah. Courtney said she'd do it, but my ultimate adventure with her would be, I said, can we I can take a tent, we can take whatever, do like a couple 14ers, camp on top of one, and then have coffee in the morning, and then just finish the route and do a couple more can you come up with something like this at least a night? And she's like, I said, would you do that? She's like, yeah, I'd love to do that. That as a film, dude, that would blow up. That's
a cool idea.
That's just
the
sharing the adventure, and just because it's all this is love of the mountains.
Yeah. How
better to capture truly just loving the mountains than just being there, waking up top of a 14,000 foot peak, drinking coffee at sunrise?
Yeah. I'm down.
Can I come? Come on. Let's do it to me.
Dude, giddy up. Let's do it.
That's adventure, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But
okay, final question, kind of along those lines of telling stories. A similar culture in sport, George, I know you're tapped into this, but climbing, that's a huge, had this kind of dirtbag culture, and then it became professionalized. People started making money, and we had the film Free Solo come to theaters, and it kind of brought climbing to the mainstream, which some people could argue there's negatives that came from that, but ultimately for the industry was a positive. What do you think could be ultra running's Free Solo?
TBD.
What's that?
Means to be determined. We haven't had that film yet.
Yeah.
Because it has to come together with a specific something project.
Yeah, like free soloing El Cap.
Yeah, I mean, come on, and he did it.
Yeah.
Right? And you got it on film.
And he didn't die.
And he could die at any minute. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that, we haven't had that yet. I think there's tons of potential. I don't know what that quote project is.
Yeah.
it has to be something cool and big.
Yeah.
And you have to capture it in the right way.
Well. Yeah.
And Jimmy Chin, not too bad at filmmaking.
He's okay.
I mean, you taught him. Wasn't he your apprentice, James?
Yeah, he was, and then he just got a big ego. So I was like,
sad.
dude,
You're
sad.
fired.
he thought he was better than me. So.
When those young guys get,
It's disappointing.
it is. It's sad.
Yeah,
I think there's a potential there, though. Mm-hmm. And the more films get supported in ultra running, and the more filmmakers that keep doing stuff and pushing the envelope out there,
Creative, just getting better creatively. Yeah.
I think it's going to be amazing. And when it comes out, when that film comes out, that's that big.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want.
We need some Netflix films, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, like ultra running Netflix films.
Oh man, that'd be so sick. Yeah,
Like stuff that people would be like, I'm looking at documentaries. I just did this flying here. I'm like looking at documentaries and I'm like, oh man, what should I download?
Well, just like, just what the adventure I just explained, or the one I talked about with Cat Bradley over there in, where was that? What island was
Oahu.
that? Oahu. Yeah, there's two on the series.
Yeah.
2 Netflix episodes right there.
they're doing one on my next 50K actually. So
Yeah, it's because it's a first multi-day 50K.
yeah, 50K free solo. It's self-supported, believe it or not.
Yeah, because they're the race organizers are gonna be home for
Is he
all
still
day
out
after
there?
you finish. Yeah. So it has to be a free solo, unsupported.
Yeah, and I won't be roped up. So
Wow. Impressive. Okay. Well, Dylan had a good question. George, you have anything over there? Do you have anything you want to ask us before we close this thing out? I know. It's on the spot. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm going to stick with the filmmaking for a question here, right? So Free Solo we talked about, right? I think another fantastic film that really brought people that had nothing to do with the subculture into the subculture was Dogtown and Z-Boys. I don't know if you guys ever saw Stacy Peralta's film about skateboarding and kind of the birth of skateboarding.
I think I did.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
won the contest.
I want to rewatch it because you've
Yeah.
been talking about it on this trip, and
I think I
I'm like,
did.
I need to sit down and watch that again. I watched it a long time
So
ago.
are you saying that propelled skateboarding?
No, I think what it did was it helped people who have nothing to do with skateboarding, actually feel on an emotional level and understand who, what, where, why this happened.
So are you saying ultra running hasn't had that type of storytelling?
Exactly.
Okay.
Every time we tell films, we tell them too much inside baseball.
Yeah, I get that.
So I guess as a question to you guys is, what is it going to take to help someone who knows shit about running understand what it is that we do?
Man, somehow, I think, so it's those moments like I just talked about with Jeff being so honest about, not what he wanted, what he needed. It's just that up and down. It's the suffering, the success, the win, the loss. It's that. Somehow capturing that roller. You stuck on that ridge in the lightning storm. It's somehow capturing those moments. That's really hard because the skateboarding is at the skate park. It's more controlled. When we're talking in the mountains, it's so unpredictable and you don't know when those moments are going to happen. So that's a challenge. So we just have to figure out a way to film basically every second of a multi-day race. I don't know how else to do it.
Yeah, right, because you're not, otherwise it's aid stations.
You just don't know. You don't know when that's going to happen. You don't know when you're going to fall and, there's blood coming down. Blood is a super, adds everything. You got to get blood in there, but you don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Courtney has that. She fell at, whatever. She went blind or something and fell and had that picture. There's blood here.
Right.
Got to have that. How do you get that? You have to be out there, So it's just, that's the challenge of a 250-mile multi-day race is tough to be out there every second. But that's what it takes.
Yeah, we'd have to have a giant team of filmers following the characters.
But if we want that, that's what it's going to take. So Nike, you got your holy shirts. Let's get some money out there. Come on.
James can do the editing. Have a lot of footage to look at.
And Camel won it turned around in 2 weeks.
Why 2? What are you doing? What's wrong next week? But yeah, well, that was. Anything else? We got anything else? I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love the discussion.
I had a great day.
I love the day, the lift, run, shoot. I've been on a high all day from this.
Well, thank you, man. You've been a great host. Dude, it's so fun.
Love it. I love it. So thank you for making the trip down with the crew. It's great hanging out with everybody. I appreciate you. You're a badass.
Giddy up.
Yeah. Thank you. Keep hammering, guys.